Colonel. I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick.
Best match! yeah, moves different.
Feel the ground when
mix. Awesome.
Alright, my bad, yo. I have to edit this real quick. Okay, now I'm gonna start. So I'm gonna be going for like 30, 40 minutes. Hopefully, I can get 2 of these chapters done. Keep it at a good pace. Alright, so we're on Act 9. Lonely is a woman without love. I've never been one to snoop on others, but there are times when I find that curiosity gets the best of me. It was very nice of Simon and Sunny to not resist us staying with them, especially since we have a rocky relationship for the most part. Unfortunately, they lack a spare bed, so I was left sleeping on the couch. There's no real way to tiptoe around saying it, but I have quite large assets and require a bit more lumbar support than a couch could provide. As such, I found myself waking up numerous times throughout the night from the discomfort. But maybe the third but maybe the third time I woke up I overheard something I wasn't supposed to. The sound of muffled voices came from the sliding door near the couch I was on, and they tickled my ears in a way that made me want to listen in. I opened my eyes and looked at Sio, who was passed out in a reclining chair next to the couch. It was very kind of them to take the seat and give me the couch, but again, I could not stay still for long. As I poked my head up to the couch, as I poked my head up over the couch, I saw Simon and Sunny sitting outside in the moonlight, bundled together in a heavy-looking blanket. I wrapped myself in a blanket of my own and tiptoed over to the sliding door before squatting down and pressing my ear against it. Through the cold embrace of the thin glass, I was able to overhear their conversation. That was nice, but what's the next chapter? Simon asked her. Um, uh, sur la lune? Let me look this up. I want to make sure I say this right. Okay, so I did say it right. L'homme sur la l'homme sur la lune. She replied, "Must be about an astronaut from history." 9. I've heard about this before. According to some German myths, there was a giant on the moon who controlled the tides. Simon must have misunderstood her, but it says the man in the moon. Sunny corrected them, not on the moon. Simon shook his head a little. Oh, my bad, he chuckled. That would make more sense, anyways. How does that make more sense? Sunny asked out of curiosity. Well, the man in the moon is a phenomenon where people say they can see a person's face on the surface of the moon. He pointed upwards as if to point towards the moon. Sunny gently grabbed his arm and adjusted it so that he was pointing in the correct direction. I used to look at it with my telescope when I was younger, he explained. I would draw the face as I saw whenever I did, but I was never a good artist. Waving his finger very slightly, he motioned as if he were drawing a smiley face. They say everyone sees a different face in the moon, he continued, but slowly lowering his hand, he gripped the air tightly and trembled as if his hand was in pain. I can't see them anymore, he sighed. I don't remember what it looks like. He hung his head and sighed. I held my breath to listen even closer. I know, Sims, Sunny comforted him, but I can describe it to you. Please do, I would like that very much. Oh, hold on. I got the wrong stuff. There we go. Please do, I would like that very much. Sunny closed the book and looked up into the night sky. It's pale, like the moon should be, she described. There's dark spots and light spots. It shines so bright above everything else at night. I think I see it smiling, happy that you still look for it even though you can't see it. I wish I could, Simon chuckled. But it is smiling, Sunny continued. It smiles so much to know that you still love it, though its eyes seem clouded. There are no clouds on the moon, none. 9. Its atmosphere doesn't support them. You probably see a cloud from Earth blocking it. But there are clouds in the eyes. They are full of water, like the moon could cry at any moment. But yet it doesn't, because the smile's too bright. Then, Sunny did something surprisingly profound. When I close my eyes after looking at it, I see another face in the moon, she spoke. It's rugged, but it stays there next to the first face. Simon didn't respond. I can't see the eyes, she added. They're blocked by the dark side of the moon's shadow, but when I open my eyes, I see where the first is looking. Where? Sunny turned her head to face Simon. At the other face, she stated. It looks to the face for comfort because it knows that it will always be there for him even though he cannot see it. Simon buckled slightly, hanging his head even lower. For a moment I thought I heard him sob a little. I can't see anything else in the moon, Sunny finished. She would be alone without him. She wants to help him, but she knows she can't do anything, so she just smiles and enjoys the ride. When she finished, she leaned over and put her head on his shoulder. I could tell he was crying since he covered his face with his palms. They truly were inseparable, as if they had been made entirely for each other. All those years ago, when I told Simon that the stars could tell our futures, I saw a very different future for them. I never thought it would be so tragic, and yet they remained together. I turned and hid next to the sliding door, putting my back against the wall and sitting down. I have nobody. Sure, Seal, Donovan, and I are loyal to Eden, and I am incredibly powerful, but I am entirely alone. The man I used to call my friend is sitting past nothing but a thin sheet of glass, and I am not just a threat to his well-being, but someone he actively fears. But that heart is worth more than he knows, and I need him to help me if I'm to unlock its secrets. For this, I will either have to regain his trust or utilize him to the fullest extent I can, depending on how much he resists me. I hope it'll be the former. Picking myself up, I inhaled deeply and gently knocked on the glass. Sunny took her head off Simon's shoulder and turned around before motioning for me to open the door. Simon didn't move, keeping his face pressed into his palms and sniffling. As I opened the door, the chill of winter blasted my body, trying to get under my blanket and past my nightgown. What did you need? Sunny asked cautiously. I was wondering if you had a spare pillow, I lied. My poor back is aching from the couch. I could get you one, just give us a moment. From under their blanket, I could see Sunny rubbing Simon's back in a circular motion. What's wrong, Simon? I asked, pretending as if I hadn't overheard their conversation. He doesn't sleep well anymore, she responded. His brain is all messed up from. Suddenly, Simon hushed her. Don't tell her that, he interrupted. She doesn't need to know anything. Sims, it's fine if she knows that you can't sleep, Sunny reasoned. That's not a very problematic thing. She'll use it against us, he informed her before addressing me. She'll use it against us, he informed her before addressing me, won't you? I stepped forward further into the cold and placed my hand on his back. Simon, I was wrong to try and use you for what I did. I apologize. I know you can't forgive me now, but I hope to earn your trust again eventually. Ja, I'll believe it when I see it, he scoffed, and the visions don't show it happening anytime soon. Then I'll have to clear your vision. I took a seat next to him and looked at his face, expecting to see tears streaming down his cheeks. Instead, I saw blood coming from his eyes. He wasn't wearing his blindfold, allowing me to see that his eye sockets were empty. His eyelids were merely scrunched where an eyeball should fit. At first I thought it was the moonlight playing tricks on me, but my expression must have given away my shock since Sunny nodded at me from the other side of him, confirming my suspicions. What happened to you? I asked in disbelief. That heart, he sighed. The power associated with it. He tilted his head and looked into the night sky. If you really want me to trust you, then tell me, he stated. Do you feel guilt? I thought for a moment and responded as truthfully as I could. I have felt guilt, yes, was my answer. He chuckled a little and an expression of grief ran off his face. I caused so much damage to our lives, he began. I destroyed the trust of my friends and used my status to fuck over many others in a feeble attempt to spare myself. God damn. What the fuck? Hold on. The Olympus curse is hitting me, bro. Oh shit. Okay. Only to realize. Okay. I caused so much damage to our lives, he began. I destroyed the trust of my friends and used my status to fuck over many others. In a feeble attempt to spare myself, only to realize that it was my fault far too late. I could tell he was still hurting by the way he tensed up. I have wielded world altering power, and yet, he snarled, I still couldn't fix my mistakes. Then he lowered his head and sighed. Now I am blind, he stated, tormented by otherworldly visions and hallucinations so vivid that I believe they are real. I see it all so clearly, and yet I can't even remember what a fucking face looks like. More blood began to drip from his eye sockets and make his way down his cheeks. Worst of all, I lied to the one person in my life that I shouldn't have. Finally, he sighed a harrowing sigh, and yet if he told me this is the punishment for what I did, he turned to me and looked directly at my face. Then I got off easy. The next morning didn't come quite as quickly as I had hoped it would have. Simon's words echoed through my head all night, preventing me from getting a good night's rest. By the time the sun was up, I felt like I only just started to feel tired. They allowed me to use their shower, which brought up the question of why they were being so nice to me. I'd done nothing but cause issues for them, and Simon attempted to strangle me upon being near me again, and yet they treated me with kindness immediately following. How am I supposed to be forgiven if I cannot forgive others? Was the best answer Simon could give me. Yet it all felt so backhanded, as if he were insulting me. A bit later, I sat at their counter, listening to the running faucet as Simon washed his hands in preparation to make breakfast. Finally, I decided to make conversation. I assume Sonny cooked for you? I admitted. I may be blind, but I'm not helpless, he chuckled. Watch. I watched as Simon cautiously made his way over to the refrigerator and opened it. Then he felt around inside until he could locate the butter, cheese, and eggs. Carefully, he removed all three from it and placed them near the stove. Reaching up, he grabbed the pan that was hanging from a hook and placed it on the stove. I've hit my head on this damn thing many times, he mumbled as he turned the ignition on. A small flame flickered to life to heat up the pan as he carefully sliced the butter with a knife, using his finger on the side of the blade to measure how much he needed. Then he tossed it into the pan to melt. Every action he took was so cautious yet deliberate at the same time. He knew how to judge the space between things by using his hands and utilized the edge of the countertops to find out where he was relative to the stove. There was only one time that I thought he would burn himself since he reached a little too far on the handle of the pan, but he was able to correct himself before he made contact. The egg hit the pan and sizzled, filling the air with the smell of fresh breakfast. Then he covered the pan with a lid and let the egg cook. After a few minutes, he opened the lid and flipped the egg over, then placed a slice of cheese on it and covered it back up. An audible kerchunk hit my ears as the toast popped up from the toaster next to the stove. I watched as he carefully cut the crust off with a knife before placing the egg on it. Ta-da, he mused. What do you think? I think I just paid more attention to you making a sandwich. God damn it. I think I just paid more attention to you making a sandwich than I should have, I responded as I rubbed my eyes. Alright, hold on, let me turn on the light, man. Or y'all. Yeah, egg and cheese. Egg and croissant. Jimmy's croissant. Okay. Go on, try it. I promise the venom you spit is worse than whatever I put in it. I placed the sandwich in front of me on a small plate. I had to slide it closer while ignoring his rude remark, but it was near me enough that I didn't have to move. As he did, I noticed the two scars on his wrist that never fully healed. I know he couldn't see it, but I was terrified. Admittedly, Simon's blindness was a fortuitous turn of events for me, since I needed him in a position where he'd been able to refuse my demands. Knowing that I needed a backup plan, I took a bite of the sandwich and schemed. Simon seemed so different from when I knew him. My mind raced, trying to list things I could to use to my advantage. He clearly believes he's still guilty, so maybe I could use him murdering that man and getting away with it. Then again, he'd also admonish himself of that crime when he defunded the police. If I play into the murderer fugitive angle, I also need to worry about him fighting back. It'd definitely be obvious that I'm trying to manipulate him as well. Then, as I took another bite, I looked past Simon at the pictures on the refrigerator. The most devious idea I could have hatched into my brain as I bit the sandwich. Well, what do you think? Simon asked, breaking my concentration. I hadn't even realized that I finished the sandwich. Oh, it was surprisingly good, I muttered. Delicious, actually. I've been told I make a good chef, he chuckled. Yeah, so have you lightened up to the idea of coming with us? I gave it some thought, and I believe I have to. At best, I'll finally be able to sail away that heart forever. At worst, you'll kill me, hold me hostage, or use me for one of your little terrorist doings. You seem content with that. I'm not worried about myself, I'm worried about Sunny. Which reminds me, mind if I speak to her privately? I want to set her mind to ease about this. She's an adult, you can speak to her all you want. I looked over at Sunny, who was sitting on the couch completely entranced by the television. She didn't even seem to notice Seal staring at the side of her head. Standing up, I circled around the couch to get her attention. Sunny, if you don't mind, I'd like a word with you, I offered, woman to woman. She looked over the couch at Simon with her reservation in her eyes before following me to the bedroom. Take a seat on the bed and give me your foot, I calmly ordered. Uh, okay, she mumbled. I don't know why you need my foot, but here. Naive as she is, she did exactly as I say without a second guess. I quickly reached into my jacket and pulled the device with the strap out and slapped it on her ankle. I decided I want you to come with us, to keep Simon company, I informed her. You could have just asked, she scoffed. What's with the thing? It's a bomb, Sonny. She tensed up as I tightened the device around her ankle. Please understand that I'm doing this for your own good, I explained. I can't have you or Simon trying to escape. Is this what you become? Sonny asked. I'm just playing the role I was meant to. No, the affiliate we knew was so nice to us. What changed? I got the power to be who I was always meant to be. If you say so. Personally, if I were you, I would have just become an actor or one of those people who helps promote anime by wearing bikinis. You certainly haven't lost your charm. Sunny smirked a little. A terrorist is strapping a bomb to my foot, she shrugged. What else can I do? You can start with trimming your toenails, I suggested. She wiggled her toes at me in defiance. So what if I cut this thing off with a knife and run away, she scoffed. First off, you're bold for even saying that to me, I responded. Second, if it's severed at all, then the whole thing will detonate, so don't be getting any ideas. Well, what if I cut off my foot and then slide it off? Honestly, at that point, you'd have bigger problems to worry about. I could just hop away from you. I used to be a master at hopscotch. I finished affixing the bomb and stood up before her. Then I reached in my coat and pulled the metal cylinder out and pulled the metal cylinder out and held it out for her to see, ensuring I was far enough away that she couldn't grab it. I see. So this is the little section that Jake was fucking pissed at. Well, besides a few other slight typos that I saw. Do you know what this is? I asked sternly as I flipped the cap with my thumb, revealing a red button. I've seen the movies, she nervously chuckled. That's the detonator. She immediately grew tense as I placed my thumb on the button. I could tell that she wanted to be a smartass, but the actual threat of losing a limb was finally clawing its way into her head. I pressed this and your leg is gone, I reminded her. It works from really far away too. Her eyes trained themselves on the detonator. She nervously shifted and picked up the scar on her shoulder. Don't think for a second that I hesitate either. I sternly informed her, I know for a fact you'd survive, so I have no ill conscience about making you a cripple. Sweat formed on her brow as her eyes focused on my face. A look of terror washed over her as she realized I wasn't just trying to intimidate her. After a few moments of mentally tormenting her, I flipped the detonator shut and slipped it between my breasts. That way I'd know if she went for it while my guard was down. With a huge sigh of relief, she wiped the sweat off her face and eased up. Okay. Now let's see what this means.
J'y ai l'estomac noué.
I see. I don't think you guys heard that. Or maybe you guys did. Let me see. Where's the,
J'y ai l'estomac noué.
Yeah. But it did sound like it repeated it slower this time. J'ai l'estomac noué. Something like that. She sighed. You're really not the Ophelia we knew anymore. Get your stuff, I commanded. We have a train to catch. You know he's gonna be really pissed. He's been surprisingly reasonable despite his rude remarks. If he keeps it up, then you'll never see that detonator again. Sunny looked at me with disgust. You gotta do something to him, aren't you? You're gonna do something to him, aren't you? She asked. I'll explain once we're there, I stated. Now pack your stuff. I simply refused to be late. Realizing I had all the power in the situation, she did as she was told. Simon handled the news about as well as I expected, but he knew he couldn't do anything about it. No matter how much he yelled at me, he knew I was untouchable. Yeah. Act 10. Telling words not to be told. The train ride back to France was initially awkward, to say the least. I could tell that both Simon and Sunny wanted to try and escape, but they knew they couldn't. Simon kept staring at me, albeit unintentionally, and it began to mess with my conscience. It felt like he was judging me, which he probably was, but I didn't like it in the slightest. But I knew that once I had my way with the heart's power, things would be very different. Maybe it would give us an entirely new life, one where we remained friends and I was merely visiting to ensure that he was recovering well. Or maybe it would only change my course in life, making me into a popular actress. I'd simply be paying a friend a visit now that I'm in the spotlight. If this heart really does what the book can say, then I'll have everything I need, except for a way to relax on train rides. As I struggled to get comfortable, I couldn't help but overhear Sunny mumbling a song to herself. I recognized the song since it came out recently and aggressive marketing had it playing on seemingly every radio in Europe. She was wearing headphones and had a disc player with her that she'd been listening to, but until now she was relatively quiet. Give me a second. Oh, I can feel my eyes fucking hurting already. Oh. Bussin'? I don't think he's... You know what? Let me look this shit up. Yeah, that's as I fucking thought. Okay. My bad. A friend wanted me to translate something in Spanish. And I'm like, I don't think this word is in Spanish. Like, It's like one of those like meme phrases, like slang things that we say nowadays, and it just does not have a direct translation because it's not an actual word. I try to block out her terrible singing, but after the fourth time listening to her butcher the same song, I grew a little irritated. My foot began tapping on the floor faster and faster as I tried to drown out the sound. However, despite how quiet she was singing, every word grated on my ears. At first, I thought it was just her accent getting in the way, since the original singer didn't have as intrusive of an accent as she did, but as Sunny sang it to herself, it became increasingly apparent that she did not know the correct lyrics. You know these aren't the lyrics, right? I asked. She didn't seem to hear me with her headphones in, so I tapped her on her arm. She asked as she took her arm off. What's up? Those aren't the lyrics, I informed her. You've sang it differently like 10 times and it's still not right. Well, I'm trying to figure them out by listening on loop. I could just tell you them, but where's the fun in that? What's the fun in being wrong? She covered her ears with the headphones and continued listening to her disc player. You're missing the point, she told me. It doesn't matter if I'm wrong. I'm singing what I think they are, and I'm trying to figure them out for myself. Frustrated, I closed my eyes and tried to relax again. But while her lyrics were off, her drumming certainly wasn't. She tapped her fingers on the table in perfect rhythm, helping soothe my discomfort. After what felt like only a few minutes, a train attendant placed our meals on the table, waking me up. As we began to eat, I couldn't help but ask, your finger drumming was simply delightful. Where'd you learn to play? Oh, oui, merci, she smiled and with her food in her mouth. I never really did. Guess it comes naturally, like a talent. Well, you're quite talented then. You say that now, Simon joked. But she'll keep you up all night if she gets a song stuck in her head. Sunny giggled before slipping on a slushie she ordered. Certainly you have a talent as well, Simon? I asked, trying to make conversation. I'd hardly call anything I possess a talent, especially now. Even if I had one, I wouldn't share it with you. There has to be something. I looked to Sunny for affirmation, but she nodded while she ate. Well, I used to think I was a talentless waste, but I think I proved my cooking abilities to you this morning. That's all you'll get from me. The sandwich he made was just a normal egg and cheese sandwich, yet he seemed almost boastfully proud about it. How's about you? Sunny asked. Do you have a talent? Well, there is one thing, I muttered, but it's a tad embarrassing. I reached across the table and grabbed a cherry from Sunny's slushy, then popped a stem in my mouth, pushing it to my teeth with my tongue as I tried to look as inconspicuous as possible while Sunny and Simon both stared at me in confusion. Finally, I stuck my tongue out, revealing that I tied the stem into a knot. Whoa! Sims, did you see that? Sunny gasped as she suddenly bust up and down in her seat. 9. Simon the blind man. No, I didn't see that. She totally did that with her mouth. I looked at Simon, who remained wholly unimpressed. That looked really cool. You know what? Let's do a few more deliveries. That looked really cool. He smirked. Oh, whatever. I don't need you two patronizing me, I sighed. Without a word, Seal held their left hand out for us to all to see. They flexed their fingers as if they were grasping an imaginary ball. Watch, they commanded. Watch, watch, watch. Hold on. Watch. Then their fingers all bent in the opposite direction. Their grasp had now inverted entirely as if I hadn't. And if I hadn't seen it previously, I would assume they had two right hands. A lot of popping noises accompanied their joints bending. Ew, Sunny burst. Oh mon dieu, that's gross. Did I just hear you dislocate something? Simon responded. Seal snapped her hand back to normal. This is why I don't bother with trivialities, such as what others think, they muttered in anger. Seal, that sounded awfully painful, I commented. Did that not hurt? I've told you, I do not feel pain. Hey, I don't feel much pain either, Sunny exclaimed. None, I physically cannot. But Sunny was so excited now and just kept talking. I'll get hurt sometimes and not even realize, she exclaimed. She told us about the time she fell off a lot and bit her tongue in the marsh behind the Olympus Manor. Simon even chimed in to back her story with another time she took a nasty fall only to be unscathed. Hearing them talk so enthusiastically while Sia was clearly pissed made me chuckle as I kicked back, listened to their stories. Sunny obviously didn't realize how irritating she was, but I doubt Simon cared what Seal thought in the first place. For a moment, it felt like nothing had changed between us. Another talent I have is with arts and crafts, she beamed. Do you paint or draw? I asked, thinking about Megan. No, and I can't paint a picture to save my life, but I like to make little arts and crafts with the kids at daycare. What sort of stuff do you make? Paper mache, macaroni, necklaces, and little masks. Is that what those masks at your apartment are? Oh, those are the ones I made for myself. If your friend is nicer to me, I might make one to cover his whole face. Sia was noticeably irritated with her at this point, which made the ride very tense. Friend? Seal snarled. She is my coworker, and you are pushing your luck. Friend? She is my coworker, and you're pushing your luck. Really? This is the guy you keep with you? Simon scoffed as he tilted his head at me. Cause just like Orian's belt, he seems to be a big waste of space. Simon. Dude did the funny. I stared at Simon in disbelief that he would make such an awful pun and try to use it as an insult. I know, lame joke, he smirked. It's only 3 stars. A moment of silence passed before Seal spoke up. You're not funny. You're not funny. The back and forth continued between them for most of the ride. When we arrived back in France, we were picked up by one of my men and taken back to feed in a van. I was admittedly happy to be back, but having to sit in a van for the ride to headquarters felt like a slog. It didn't help that Sunny was able to see out the back of the van and made a point of commenting about how different feed looked. Give me a second, yo. For those of you, actually, well, Nigel probably can't even say anything, but for those of you guys watching, you're gonna get ads now. Now I've cursed Nigel to be in the ad single frame. No. Okay. Where are the annoying tourists, she asked. It seems so lifeless. Drained of its good spirit. She wasn't particularly wrong, since Vida had become somewhat of a lower income city under her control. Once the French government pulled funding to all of Alsace because of her actions, the entire area was left to fend for itself. Ironically, the facility I worked at was the nicest building in Feed. As we arrived and headed in the building, Sunny took off her coat. She wore a tank top under it, which was strange considering she would know how cold it can get here around this time of the year. Suddenly a realization popped into my head. Sunny, why don't you have a jacket? I asked. It's freezing outside. Meh, he grumbled. The cold's never really affected me. I just complain about it and feel better. Truly, you are a proactive individual. I couldn't help but notice that Sunny held Simon's hand as they walked. Naturally, she was helping guide him so he wouldn't have to rely entirely on his cane, but I couldn't help but be bothered by it. Why not just hold his wrist? So this is the same facility I was in before? Simon asked. Well, you've done quite a bit of upscaling, so there's been a lot of remodeling, I explained, but yes, this is technically the same place. God damn it, Simon. I've loved what you've done. I love what you did with the place. The plants, the framed pictures, and of course the drapes. None of those things existed here. Why, thank you, Simon, I replied, trying to match his sarcasm. Wait until you see the room that Seal picked out for the two of you. I assure you it is most luxurious. Oh, I can't wait, he smirked. As your guest of honor, I expect 5-star living. You know, you've got a lot of confidence speaking to me like that, especially considering where we are. I don't fear you. I fear for Sunny's well-being. There's a difference. Suddenly, as we walked past the workers, one of them approached us, interrupting the tension. Sunshine? They gasped as they drew near. Why are you leaving your post? I addressed them. Get back to work this instant. I'm pretty tall for a girl, but this worker towered over me even with their shoulders hunched. He was lean, but by no means scrawny, so I stood my ground against him. Dad? Sonny shouted from behind me. Dad, I asked as I looked back. Suddenly, she pushed past me and embraced the worker in a hug. He had to kneel down to wrap his arms around her, and I was blown away that someone as short as Sonny could be related to this skyscraper. Ah, her dad. The man began talking to Sonny in French, so I'll translate what they said. Oh, my sweet sunshine, he cooed as he grabbed her back of her head in the hug. I thought I'd never see you again. But Dada, why? She asked. Why are you here? I work here. I help package drugs. And as he pulled away to address her, he noticed a scar on her shoulder. Oh, oh, my sunshine, he burst. What happened? What did the Olympus boy do to you? No, Dada, Sonny tried to calm him down. This was not from him. He saved my life by getting me to the hospital on time. Her father glared in my direction, and it took me a moment to realize he was looking at Simon. Anger and rage filled his eyes from seeing his daughter's injury. Then he released Sonny and stormed towards us with his finch clenched. As he approached, I was ready for him to attack us, so I placed my hand on my gun. However, to my surprise, he embraced Simon in a hug just like he did with Sonny. Thank you, he said in French. Oh, yes, of course, Simon responded, clearly startled from the sudden contact. I love your daughter very much. Hearing Simon speak French made me chuckle a little. His accent so unmistakably German. His pronunciation was far from passing, but I could still understand what he was saying. My dada hasn't seen you in forever, Sonny reminded Simon in English. I'm surprised he recognizes you. I'm surprised he didn't rip my head off, Simon chuckled as their father released him. Does he know about what happened? Only that you are blind. That is all he needs to know. At this point, her father realized that he was standing before me and straightened up. My apologies, Miss Cowgirl, he addressed me in French. Please forgive me. Forgiven, I replied. However, I need you to get back to work. We have important matters to attend to. Please take care of my daughter. I do not know what you are planning to do with her, but please, please don't hurt her. I'll be fine, Dada, Sonny assured him. He wrapped his arms around her one more time before reluctantly returning to his workstation. I could see him looking over his shoulder, like a dog that had been shooed away and was looking back for its master. Don't worry, Maxwell, Simon mumbled under his breath. I'll keep her safe from this bitch. I pretended I didn't hear them say that as I guided them down the hallway. Still, it was a shock to me that Sonny's father worked at the Garden of Eden and for Cowgirl's concoctions nonetheless. I had never met or seen a picture of her father before, so when I heard his name was Revelation a while ago when he was hired, I just assumed it was a coincidence. Once we arrived at the holding cell, I ushered Simon and Sonny in. The room was originally a storage room, but I had placed two small spring beds inside for them to sleep on. A latch bolted onto the outside of the door ensured that they wouldn't be able to escape. What if we have to use the toilet? Sonny asked upon looking inside. There's a bucket in there, I joked. But if you need, we'll escort you to one. There isn't even a window. Well, if I give you a window, you try to escape, and then I blow your leg off. We don't want that, do we? You're such a bitch. Sunny stormed inside and threw herself onto one of the beds. It made a loud creaking noise, and she curled up into a ball and laid on her side. I turned to Simon and placed my hand on his back, half guiding, half pushing him into the room. I hope your kind will die out at some point, he mumbled as he answered. Yeah, I'll be back for you in 1 minute, I assured him. Once I locked him in, I sighed. I knew that Simon was trying to push me, but I refused to give in. They only needed to stay overnight while Celia evacuates everyone from the manor and makes preparations for the transfusion. Our plan was simple. The heart demanded blood, so we're going to give it blood. Heading down the hallway, I entered the break room and grabbed a mug from the cupboard. We had a water dispenser that could spit out scalding hot water at the push of a button, so I felt like making myself some tea. As I dipped a tea bag into a mug, Donovan passed by in the hallway, noticed me, then entered the room. Madam, Miss Cowgirl, he addressed me. Just the woman I was looking for. He fidgeted with his hook as he approached. It's my pleasure to inform you that the treasures collected from that stuffy manor will be assessed for authenticity in the morning. Excellent work, Donovan. I praise them. You are most efficient. Oh, shit. Of course, madam, I also received the memo from Seal that you will be busy tomorrow, and thus took the liberty of asking Master Eden to accompany us digitally. I wasn't aware that was possible, I said as I sipped my tea. How's that work? Mobile technologies are advancing every day. Our technicians have their ways, he explained. We have technicians? What kind of drug ring do I work for? Do remember that the drugs are merely our source of income, madame. The Guard of Eden is much, much more. I didn't like the way he worded his sentence. It felt as if he knew something I didn't. Don't concern yourself with the trivialities, Madam Cowgirl, he reassured me. Just leave the heavy lifting to us. If you say so. I tentatively agreed. Oh, and stop calling me Madam. I think this is the millionth time I ask you to cut it out. It's a force of habit. Keep telling yourself that. By the way, do we have a cooler? I think so. How come? I need it for something. He dug through the locker on the opposite side of the room while he sipped my tea. To my surprise, he managed to find an old portable cooler bag stuffed deep inside it. Merci, I thanked him as I finished my tea and grabbed the cooler. That's all I needed, Donovan. Of course, Miss Cowgirl, he responded. Just let me know if you need anything else. But of course, may Eden's light shine upon you. Something irked me about his last statement. You always say that, I mentioned. You do know that we don't work for the biblical Adam and Eve, right? So what's with the phrase? He sighed and looked into the distance. When I was at the lowest point in my life, Eden offered me an ultimatum that saved me, he explained. They cast a light through the darkness that helped me pull myself together. I only hope that light can shine on others. I had no idea. It's not a phrase I say lightly. With that, he took his leave. Once he was gone, I grabbed a bunch of the beer from the refrigerator and stuffed it in the cooler with the ice. I suddenly apologized to the workers who would go without their drinks, but I figured out a way to repay them. Stopping by my office, I grabbed a little something for Simon. Since I know he'd probably put up a fight, I decided a little gift might help ease his concerns. Lastly, I stopped by the room where they were in and opened the door. It appeared that Sunny had fallen asleep, remaining curled up in the corner of her bed. Simon sat on the edge of it, singing slowly and slowly rubbing her side. Please don't take my sunshine away, he finished. He must have heard me enter because he tilted his head in my direction. I know I'm awful at it, he smiled. But ever since she was a kid, she has had to have someone sing to her so she can fall asleep. What about when you're not there? I asked. She has a plush frog from when she was a baby. It sings when you squeeze it. Then he stopped rubbing his shoulder and leaned toward me. Now what do you want? He whispered. Come with me, I whispered back. Do I have a choice? Absolutely not. He leaned over and kissed Sonny on the shoulder, then reluctantly pulled himself upright. I prodded his wrist to let him know that I helped guide him. He grabbed my jacket at the wrist, I handed him his cane and escorted him out of the room. Are you taking me to the heart yet? He asked as we walked through the facility. That's tomorrow, I reminded him. It's a little late tonight to travel all that way. As soon as we get there, I'm finishing that thing off once and for all. Well, until then, step out here and help me finish these beers. We stepped outside into the chilly night and I helped guide Simon to the parking lot. What's this about? He asked. I want you to trust me, I stated. If only for long enough for us to deal with the heart. So I thought I'd bring you out here so you can be with the stars. You were spying on Sunny and me. I needed a pillow and overheard things. You're incorrigible. I'm lending you an olive branch here, Simon. Will you take it? Fine. I sat next to him and opened the cooler, then handed him a beer. It took him a moment to locate it, so I tapped his thigh with the bottom of the bottle. He took a swig and sighed. Being blind must suck. I attempted to converse with him. I'm only legally blind, he responded. I still see. His response shocked me. You have no eyes, I reminded him. What do you mean you still see? I mean, I still see, he reiterated, just not clearly. Everything is a swirling amalgam of colors and imagery. So when you look at me, you can see me? Nine, I don't mean like that. I mean, I see visions of you. Distorted and warped memories from your general presence, he explained. I imagine an abstract painting where the colors all blend together and the shapes have no definitive beginning or end. Everything and nothing all at once, that is what I see. That sounds like a nightmare? It is. I took a sip of my beer. Do you remember the day we spent behind the dumpsters? I asked. Which one? He chuckled. I remember running into you back there numerous times. The first time, when you told me about your family. Vaguely. Why? You told me that even if all the blood in your body was drained, you would still be in Olympus, I explained. You do know we intend to use your blood, right? Heh, you took that literally? If you drain all my blood, I die. That thing demands blood, but I'm not gonna let you die. If anything happens, I'll disconnect you. Disconnect me? Do you intend to connect me to that thing? Preposterous. Ever heard of a blood transfusion? He set his bottle down and I realized it was empty. Care for seconds? I asked, tapping another bottle in his thigh. Danke. He thanked me as he took it. He downed the bottle in one long gulp before extending his arm for another. As I placed the third bottle into his hand, he shook his head. You think a mere blood transfusion can bring that thing to life? Why the hell would you want that thing alive? I think it's still worth a shot, I admitted, and I have a few things I'd like to change about my past. Don't we all? You think I'm proud of what I've done in hindsight? I think you're misunderstanding the extent that I wish to utilize this power. Do you even know how crazy you are? You come across that nightmarish entity and your first thought is, oh, I'm gonna revive it. I'm gonna fuck with this giant heart so I can go back and make up for being a pussy. A chill ran up my spine as he finished. What you say? I asked in a dry tone. I said you're a pussy, he repeated. For a moment I thought I was merely hearing things and he actually said something else. Then he continued. I think you're a colossal pussy and I think the only thing that you regret are your own choices, he explained. Who cares what some snot-nosed Frenchlings said about you when you were younger? You think if you stood up to them back then things would be different now? You think you wouldn't end up a manipulative two-faced bitch? I could tell he was tipsy, if not outright drunk. Actually, I don't think it, he sneered. I know it. I know all your problems come from your own doings or lack thereof. Oh yeah? I rebutted. You think you know me so well? You think you know what it's like, huh? Ja, I do. Why? He put his mouth into his elbow and burped. 'Cause I was the same way, he retorted. I was too damn stubborn for my own good. Look where that got me. He took another swig of his beer. You're so fucking useless. No wonder nobody likes you, he quoted. You know who said that to me? Your father, I guess, trying to keep my composure. 9, it was Megan, and it stuck with me too. I used that power that you think will magically solve all your problems, and it didn't solve mine. But you told me you were able to... To what? To save Sunny? She should never have been in a position to be shot in the first place. You gave Robert that gun, but it's my fault for letting her get hurt on my behalf. Nobody's saying that it was your fault. He turned to my direction and frowned. I am, he snarled. It was my reckless actions and petulant whining that caused so much suffering. I caused Quincy to fall into that coma, and now I have to atone for my actions. You'll learn one day. Simon, I never wanted anyone to get hurt, I refuted. I'll admit I'm spiteful of course, for not standing up to those kids, Ja. Of the other kids for moving on with their lives while you can't. I have moved on. I'm more powerful than I've ever been, and far lonelier than they'll ever be. I felt my eyes grow misty as the truth continued to batter against my ears. No matter how much I deny it, Simon had read me like a script and already knew my next line. Pressing my bottle to my lips, I chugged my beer and grabbed another. So? Oh, okay. It's like a belch or something. The fuck? I belched before covering my mouth. Who said I needed companionship? I miss Cowgirl, and as far as I'm concerned, this country is my stage. You did, he slurred. You don't need to say it with words either. Your actions give it away. You can pretend to be tough all you want, but you're the same two-faced bitch who tricked me into becoming your friend with fake platitudes and sympathy. I sympathized with you because I thought we were alike. I saw you as a kind-hearted German boy whose family used up all the good cards, leaving you with a shit hand. And I saw you as a poor girl who was rejected for something she couldn't control. It's not your fault it's not your fault you look like you were splashed with bleach. And it's not your fault that Quincy didn't wake up from his coma either. Simon hung his head for a moment and set his bottle down. 9, he sulked. That one is my fault. It should have been me. I set my bottle down and realized we both drank at least 5 beers each. Only one bottle remained in the cooler and it had Simon's name on it. Are you insinuating that you should die? I asked cautiously. 9, he responded. I have to live. If not to atone, then for Sunny. There was nothing more I could say. I knew I would never be able to feel what he felt for her. Nothing I could ever have or will ever have ever amount to their relationship, and it tore me apart to know that I could have had it at one point. I tapped the last bottle on his thigh and watched as he took a sip. Small tears rolled down my cheeks as my face felt warm with booze. Feeling my heart weigh heavily in my chest, I decided that I needed to tell him what was about to happen. Simon, I have to tell you something, I drunkenly blurted. Ja, and that is? He asked as he took another swig. Your drink, it's laced with flunitrazepam, and what's that? An active ingredient in common roofies. I was ready for him to freak out, but strangely, he didn't. Instead, he remained calm and set the bottle down. Ah, he muttered. Ah? I parroted. And why would you be telling me this? I believe you have the right to know. Makes sense to me. How long until it kicks in? I'd be surprised if it hadn't by now. How do you feel? He slowly turned his head as if to examine his surroundings. I feel calm, he admitted. Please understand, it's the only way we'll be able to ensure you do this willingly. I get that. I would have put up a fight the second I was near the heart, had you not. I want you to know that I meant what I said about you trusting me. That's why I'm telling you this. I only have one question. Yeah? Can I use your body as a... Then he listlessly slumped over into my lap as the chemical took full effect. Soft, he muttered. I sat there for a moment with his head resting on my thighs. Part of me was relieved he didn't fight back, but I hated that I had to resort to these methods with him. Of course, Siggy. Mumbled as I ran my fingers through his hair. My fingers ran across his scalp, and I felt the scar in his head. It felt abrasive to the touch, and I realized that the stitches were never removed when one of them pricked me. From there, I ran my hand down his forehead and pulled his blindfold down. His empty eye sockets stared at me, giving the illusion that they were merely closed. He began to snore softly as he drifted away from me. Based on what Sully told me the other night, this would probably be the best sleep he'd have in a while. The flunitrazepam keep him knocked out for about 12 hours, which should give us plenty of time. Okay. Well, that went on longer than what I was hoping for, but hey. We got to Act 11. And from what Jake was telling me, there is 28 chapters. Okay. Alright. Time for some more Shadowbringers. My eyes, man. Oops. My bad. I didn't mean to raise it up that low. Okay, the game should be booting up now. And the audio should be working fine too. Oh, my eyes. People are like, what do you mean you still see, bro? You have no eyes. Well, not in that way. Anyways, it's time for peak. Well, the second part of peak industry.
How many years have come and gone since that day? How many years have I waited for this moment? For the one that stood alone against the storm. For the one they called. The warrior of light. Break shadow, break light. Told echoes tumbling time. Break soul, wasted day, cast aside.
Silence.
What sayest thou, Master Matoya? We may accept this fate or defy it, but we cannot deny it.
Deny? I'm not wont to run from my troubles. Until our friend returns, I will
I'm trying to remember what was the last thing. Oh, that's right. I had done that. That like full party boss fight, which was pretty cool actually. Let me go ahead and get this booted up. And let me close up some stuff too. Well, we don't want to close that. The Gabagooba. Let's see, Dungeon Siege 3. So I need to do 4 more dungeons. Complete 100 instance dungeon raids and trials. No, I believe I did that whole cutscene, and then right after the cutscene was done, the dungeon queued up, and then I was like, oh, okay, oh well. Okay, so this way. Yeah, because I don't think I got a chance to speak to Forgive me for observing, Bafano seems less than jubilant, but his thoughts have... Okay, let's see. Well, now that we are earshot of the other delegates, I hope you will forgive me if I speak my mind. Me being saying that I have dreamed of this day since the moment I first set upon these shores, and that I was hardened as anyone to see the people of Eorzea pledge their solidarity. Even as they uttered their declarations, all I could think about was the conflict to come, the sacrifices that would be made, and the lives lost. Inevitabilities that I still struggle to accept. But at least now there's hope. The formation of the Grand Company of Eorzea is the first step, the first of many. Many and more. Oh, there's seats here. How might we be of service? I seek Master Alphinaud's assistance in a matter involving Gridania's neighbors, the Sylphs. I know that you and yours have long kept the weather eye upon the crystal trade, the better to predict the coming of Primal, since you will be familiar with the Sylphs of the Ash Crown Consortium. Through their dealings, they have cultivated relations not only with the city-states, but many other communities besides. Communities such as the Beast Tribes. Just so, it is our hope that we may make use of the self-established lines of communication to coordinate the efforts for our new friendship. Yet there remain certain practical differences between a trade consortium and a grand company. If the Sylphs are to perform their task effectively, they will require the council of one versed in operational aspects of an armed force. An armed force founded with the same goal in mind, no less. The Crystal Braves, yes. Forgive me, Master Alphinaud. I know that it was a painful chapter in your life, but the experience may yet be made to serve the realm. True. My hubris at political course for the Crystal Braves was stretched out far beyond the Order's initial conception, one intended to pave the way for the founding of what I intended to call the Grand Company of Eorzea. But my plans all came to naught, built upon a frail foundation of lofty ideals. The Order was doomed from the first to collapse under the weight of more worldly interests, and I have no wish to see this new endeavor suffer the same fate. Mayhap I ask too much of you? Not at all. You may count upon my assistance, for what little it is worth, By your leave, I shall prepare a report including a list of recommendations drawing on the lessons I learned from the failures of the Crystal Braves. You have my gratitude, Master Alphano, and my trust. When your report is ready, pray share it directly with the Sylphs. With your guidance and the earnest efforts of every goodly soul gathered here this day, I have no doubt that our fellowship shall emerge from the shadow of the Telephorai and flourish. Until next we meet, my friends.
Goodbye.
Before committing anything to writing, there are a number of people whose thoughts I would like to hear. Former Braves, you understand? Might you join me in seeking them out? As if you have to ask. Which I was gonna say, I was part of it too, dog. Thank you. As someone who witnessed the Order's rise and fall, yours will be a reassuring presence. I'll join you if you're planning to canvass the opinions of your former comrades. It'll be a lot quicker if we share the task of questioning them. Then mayhap Graha can lend a hand as well. I shall accompany Thancred back to the Rising Stones. Between us, I dare say we should be able to provide an accurate enough account of the day's events. Cool. Us four again. We should be glad of your company, Graha, while I explain the details on the way. Thancred's like,
Later, bruh.
so what's the plan, brother of mine? Before discussing the task at hand, I should probably admit that the report I propose is largely written. Not long after that fateful day in Uldal, I penned a detailed account of the organization's history from the events that led to its inception to the failings that brought about its demise. This I did primarily as a means of taking some semblance of responsibility. Never did I imagine that I might later be referred to by those seeking to form a similar organization. And while I made every attempt to be objective, the account was mine alone. Its events viewed from my singular perspective. For it to be of use, however, it must be brought in to encompass the viewpoints of all involved. Only then can it answer what seems to me to be the crucial question, namely, why after the Crystal Braves disbanded, do some members choose to remain with us while others did not? I see. You think the answer will tell us something about the nature of the ties that bind our new grand company together, and that this knowledge might help us prevent it from falling apart when those bonds are inevitably tested. That is my hope, yes, but the questions I would ask are uncomfortable to some. As the former commander of the Crystal Braves, I thought that those who abandon the cause would welcome my inquiries. Then Graha and I will just have to try. Meanwhile, the two of you can talk to the ones who kept the faith. A fine suggestion. Have care, however. Certain of my former comrades are of questionable character, so keep your wits about you and let us reconvene in Gridania later on. If you have no objections, I have a mind to begin by speaking with Rio and Eliane. If memory serves, I told them we'll be attending an intelligence briefing at Castrum Oriens. Let's seek them out there. Oh, cool. Haven't been here in a while. The Frinja. Oh, I didn't expect to see you here, Roxanne, but if you enjoy intelligence briefings, you come to the right place. While such briefings are seldom exciting affairs, their importance in coordinating our efforts with our allies cannot be overstated. In that regard, Eliane and Rio have been most dependable. True. This is my boy right here. He stuck with us thick and thin. Well, look who it is, and what brings you two here. Wouldn't have anything to do with the big meeting, would it? In a matter of speaking, I have been assigned a task, you see, for which I require the assistance of former members of the Crystal Braves. We need your opinions on what exactly happened. and why it failed. So he wants to know why we decided to stick with the Scions, eh? Ain't an easy thing to put into words, that. As Real will attest, I spent a long time agonizing over my failure to alert you to the traitors in our midst. For my negligence, I was captured along with many others, and we were powerless to prevent the tragedies that ensued. Not a day goes by that I do not think back to those fateful events. By joining the Scions, I hope to redeem myself, and I will continue to serve the cause for as long as I am able. But that wasn't my only reason. When we were finally reunited at the Rising Stones, you refused to blame anyone but yourself for the fall of the Crystal Braves. And in spite of everything that had happened, everything you had suffered, you took us back without a moment's hesitation. We would not have blamed you had you turned us away, but when you gave us your trust instead, what else could we do but try to repay it? Nothing, that's what. As for me own tale, well, I always felt the Scions have something in common with me old crew. The duty of the strong is to protect the weak. That was our creed, and I still strive to live by it to this day. But as time goes on, I've learned that strength comes in many shapes and sizes. From Hori Boulder to Mr. Satsuru, we all of us got something to offer, and not one of us is doing it for personal gain, because we believe there's more important things than that, things worth protecting, which is what being a Scion's all about. I am at a loss for words. Thank you, my friends. To hear this from you means more than you know. Forgive me, Roxanne, could you? Give us your thoughts on the Crystal Braves. Yo, Rocky, welcome on in. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream. Well, its founding ideals were something to be proud of, but ideals alone don't make a crew. True. From every swab who signed up with good intentions, there was another who was only in it for the coin, the glory, or both. Ours was quite a disparate band, and while I will never forgive Elbert, the fact that we managed to function at all was thanks in large part to his efforts. Just a pity he was doing it all for the wrong reasons, eh? Only takes one bad apple, they say, and the Braves had a bear full of them. Not like the Scions, we might look like a ragtag band of misfits, but deep down, we've all got that shared sense of purpose, and why? Because Satsuru sifted out all the glory hunters before they made it through the door. I see, so while our ranks comprise a diverse range of people, each with their own individual strengths, we're all united in purpose. Thank you, my friends. With your permission, I shall make a record of our discussion and refer to it when drafting my recommendations. Until we meet again. Thanks, mate. Maybe we'll get to listen in on the ones that don't like us, or whatever. Alphano Skintier with Alice and Grahati have learned from the Braves to turn their back on the cause. Well, I think we've taken up enough of our colleagues' time, and I am conscious that less life-affirming testimonies await. Let's make our way to Gridania and hear what the others have learned. More colorful testimonies, maybe? Depends on your point of view. Nani? Looks like someone took damage. Okay, I'm going the right way. The good old Joe Gay. When Alice sets her mind on something, there's no stopping her. And her mind was truly set on finding former Braves. For a while, I even feared what she might do to them, but in the event, she was admirably civil for the most part. On the way here, I took the opportunity to write up my notes from our conversation with Alian and Rio. All that remains is that Alice and Graha's findings, whatever they may be. Thanks to Tatsuru's ever-dependable intelligence, we managed to track down a handful of former Braves without any great difficulty. Some were forthright, others less so, but we heard enough to form a picture. I must warn you, Alphino, some of their comments were harsh. I can well imagine, but their opinions are no less vital to my report. I seek the unvarnished truth. Oh, here it is. Thank you. I was set about adding your findings to my own at once. In the meantime, pray go ahead to Little Solace and seek out Elder Frixio. I will join you anon. Frixio. Oh, I'm in a completely different area. Oh, that's right. They wanted us to go to the south. So. Oh yeah, this one. I welcome Brave One and the friends of Brave One. How good it is to see walking ones again so soon after the meeting. It's been a while since we last spoke. Indeed it has, though the palace is very pretty. The meeting was far too noisy for this one. So many shouting ones and squawking ones and cheering ones with no chance of carefree conversation. So this one is pleased all ones can be friends. Horn One, Khan Isana, said that the walking ones would be coming to Little Solace. Imperial ones also invaded Southlands and abducted many of these ones, so these ones will be glad to bear messages between fighting friendly ones. That is heartening to hear, Elder. It will require all ones to work in unison to stop the Telephore. These ones will try very hard, of course, but in matters of war, these ones have little experience. Any advice making ones can provide, any advice walking ones can provide will be most welcome. Oh, another pretty silver-held one, and quite in a hurry it seems. Oh hey, Alice, you must come quickly. Whatever's the matter, Alphino, don't tell me you couldn't read my handwriting. What? No. The twin outer officer accosted me as I was about to set out. Charlatan has sent an envoy who is due to arrive in Gurdon at any moment. An envoy? Could it be that Crow has managed to sway the forum? We shall know soon enough, but there is more. The envoy has requested that the two of us attend the audience with the elder seats here. Really? I can see why they might sound to be present, but us specifically? Wait, it isn't who I think it is. It is. I could scarcely believe it myself, but when I inquired as to the envoy's identity, I was told that it was one Fortunat Livier. I hope I did not butcher the first name that badly, but... Your father? Well now, the fact that a serving member of the forum had journeyed here would be surprise enough, but him? Quite. I glean from this that they're taking the matter seriously. That may be, but why him and not one of the other 98 forum members? Unless he volunteered for it. It's been some time since you last saw your father, has it not? Could it be that he's concerned for your well-being? Perhaps, but he has always been reluctant to discuss his work with us. Indeed, and whenever we write to our parents, it is invariably our mother who replies. Nevertheless, I welcome the opportunity to meet with him after so long, even if it is secondary to his true purpose here. Older Frixio, love though I am to cut our visit short, we must return to Gridania. Pray accept my apologies along with my report. Never mind, there will be time to talk later. This one will keep walking ones from more urgent matters. Go.
Yes.
The audience will be held at Lotus Stand, where the other seats here awaits even now. Let us be on our way. Yeah. Fuck it. I guess we'll see who their dad is. Let's see, I believe it's up here. Ah, yeah. This place. Welcome, Warrior Light. The other seats here and your friends are waiting within. Well, it has been some time since we set foot here. During my time in Charlotte, I heard much of Navier. He is a gifted speaker, known amongst other things for the uncompromising application of foreign policy. 99 may seem like a rather lot of members, but before the forum was founded, every person of age in Charlotte was given equal say in its governance. Many of the institutions that are still active today were established by the people's vote, not least the Studium. As Elisai and I were constantly reminded during our time there, it is an example of what can be achieved through absolute democracy. After all this time away, it will be good to see my father, even if it is at an official meeting. My friends, I thank you all for coming so swiftly. Widowmaster Fortunate's visit took us quite by surprise. When the Alliance granted Mrs. Squall permission to request Shirley's aid, we did not anticipate so prompt a reply, much less that it would be delivered by a member of the forum. What nature of that reply may be, we shall soon discover.
Elder Seedseer, I thank you for granting me this audience.
Oh, hey. Give me a second, y'all. All right.
I am Fortuno Levea, here
Fortuno.
in my
There we
capacity
go.
as representative of the Forum.
It is I who should thank you, Master Fortuno, for journeying so far and so swiftly. Would that our first meeting could have been under happier circumstances.
It has been too long, Father. You look well.
As do you both. Ameliance will be glad to hear that you are taking care of yourselves.
How is Mother?
What was that? Someone sent me an invite or something.
She misses you terribly, of course, but is otherwise a picture of health. Circumstances apart, I'm grateful that our meeting has afforded me the chance to be reunited with my children at long last. And I believe I also owe you thanks for the hospitality you showed my father, Louisois, during his sojourn in Eorzea.
All thanks we owe to him. In the days prior to the 7th Umbral Calamity, it was your father's tireless efforts which granted us a means to vanquish the Primals. Were it not for him, our strength would have been quite spent by the time the Empire arrived. That Gridania still stands is in large part his achievement. He was a great man.
He would doubtless have been moved to hear you say so. I must confess, however, that I opposed his decision to intervene. And my position remains unchanged.
To chart the course of history, not to change it. I am familiar with the Sharlayan stance.
It is more than that. It is our way of life, who we are.
Give me a second, y'all. Cool.
But I came here not to deliver a lecture, but the Forum's answer to your request. Sharlayan will under no circumstances intervene in the conflict between Eorzea and the Garlean Empire.
We thought as much.
May I ask for what reason the Forum has come to this decision? The final days spell the end not only for Eorzea, but the entire world.
The final days. Pray spare me your hyperbole. This conflict is no more than the latest in a series of petty squabbles between yourselves and Garlemald. One in which Sharlayan will take no part. If the final days were truly upon us, we would know.
Father, you must ask the Forum to reconsider. You may feel safe on your little island across the waves, but if you imagine the Telophoroi will leave you be, you are mistaken. They mean to kill us all, themselves included.
Alphino is right. We have seen what the enemy is capable of, the lengths to which they'll go. This is no time to turn a blind eye. If Eorzea falls, so too will Sharlayan. So if you truly love our homeland, you will join us. Now, before it's too late.
I thought you knew better than to raise your voice to your elders. It seems I was wrong. Wrong to ever let you leave, Sharlayan. I consoled myself that your time abroad would instill in you some hint of restraint, of discipline. But I see now that Eorzea has made fools of you both. Have you forgotten why it was that I so vehemently opposed your grandfather's departure? For all his wisdom, his only solution was to go to war. Death, devastation, ruin. Even those who claim victory are scarred for life. What prize could ever justify such sacrifice? It is the duty of the learned to avert such tragedy. By fanning the flames of war, you forsake all you once held dear.
Better to fight and fail than to wait for the axe to fall, or to ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. It is in your power to save us, refuse and you condemn us all.
I see your friend shares your misguided ideals. But unlike her, you should know better. By espousing such barbaric notions, you subvert the teachings of Sharlayan and place all we have worked for in jeopardy.
How dare they?
Alphino, Alize, as of this moment, you shall no longer bear the name of Leveilleur.
Damn! Bruh. See, when they would talk about, like, the little snips here and there of their dad, I was like, like, their dad's probably, like, a bit of a jackass. Or an asshole. Or just, like, super anal about stuff, or, like, strict or whatever, right? And then I'm like, yo, the more he keeps talking this cutscene, the more I'm just like, I get your stance on stuff, bro, but, like, you know, like, what's up? And this right here is just like, really? This owning your kids?
What?
Father.
How you choose to live your lives is no longer my concern. If you wish to walk the path of ruin, I will not stand in your way.
Master Fourcheneau, while Sharlayan may have no intention of intervening in this conflict, we can still part as friends. Will you not stay and speak with us, that we might learn of Sharlayan's hopes for the morrow?
I have said what I came here to say. Any further discussion would be meaningless.
Father! Wait!
Don't bother, Alize!
How can you stand there and watch him walk away? How can you let this happen?
Well, goddamn. Oh, okay, it looks like someone sent me a whisper or whatever. Let's see. Let me look something up. Haven't used this app in a while. Scan QR code. Settings, devices. Here you go. Hold on, I'm just checking something real quick, y'all. What? Just save it. Alright, just a moment, y'all. Need to look at something real quick. Translate audio. Come on, man. What are y'all gonna do this with me? Upload audio and translate now. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, what the fuck? Alright, my bad. Well, that was it was not so very long ago that we had a friend and neighbor in Charlian, so I clung to the hope that she might lend us her strength, but when she forsook Giovannia, it would seem she forsook us all. In order to avoid conflict with Garlemald, the Forum went so far as to order the abandonment of an entire city-state. The refusal to aid us now is, I am sorry to say, entirely consistent with their historic position. Is it we who walk the path of ruin? Time will tell. So that's what you came here to say? That we're all fools for having the temerity to defend ourselves against the Telephorai? And as for the rest? Like it or not, this was the Foreign's decision to watch from afar while Eorzea burns. Father was but the messenger, and as he handed down their judgment, I could think of nothing to say that could possibly sway him. I still can't. To have prolonged the discussion would have changed little, for it is not only Master Fortuno who must have been persuaded, but the Forum as a whole. The decision was made ere your father crossed the sea. Nor is it like to be changed, so we shall face the Telephorai without their aid. Forgive me, but if they had no intention of helping us, then why would they go for the trouble of sending an envoy in the first place? Why did they not simply keep their counsel as they want to do? Roxanne, has Master Fortuno arrived yet? Then it is as I feared, my efforts were in vain. I pleaded our case to as many Forum members as I could, but they flatly refused to discuss the matter. No, that's not exactly true. I would rather say that they ignored every word I said on the subject without exception. It was almost unnerving. Could it be that they're hiding something from us? That might go some way to explain Master Fortuno's performance. When he said that they would know if the final days were truly upon us, I dismissed it as pride. But what if they genuinely believe that they know how the world will end and simply disagree with us about the circumstances? That I don't know, but something tells me that they're not as unconcerned about the Telephorai as they claim. If the threat weren't real, why else would they be so standoffish and secretive? I would very much like to delve deeper into this, but I'm afraid I've exhausted every avenue of inquiry. Nor have I fared any better with my other mission, researching Heidelin and her ethereal sea. I tried enlisting the help of experts in the field, but it appears the Forum has forbidden anyone from cooperating with us. Obstructed at every turn. So it would seem, but don't lose heart just yet. With all the knowledge and acquaintances we have between us, we can find a way forward. To that end, I would like you all to join me here. When the time is right, of course. I am aware that matters in here are set on a knife's edge. But with your permission, I can at least start making the necessary arrangements. I've always wanted to visit, yeah. That and maybe we can knock some sense of their damn fucking heads. And so you shall, albeit under less than happy circumstances. Yeah. It may take a while to secure entry for you all, but I'll let you know when everything is in order. Look after yourselves in the meantime, won't you? Your speculations give me cause to hope. Yet if these seeds will bear fruit, I cannot say. While it is possible the Charlatanes hide some secret truth from us, there can be no certainty that its exposure will prompt in them a change of heart. And so for the present we must needs confront the plight in which we find ourselves. The Forum has refused our request for aid, and it falls to us alone to contend with the Telufu. Yep. It's up to us to stop Umbrella. With all of yours there standing united, there is no guarantee that we will prevail. What does Charlene intend to do if we fail? That's a good question. That's something that we should ask them. What do you intend to do if we fall? Because once we fall, there will be nothing else really in this world that can possibly take any attention from them anymore. I need to eat some of this food. The Forum includes representatives from all of Charlene's central institutions. With them hindering Krau's investigations, she will struggle to make any headway on her own. Throughout my childhood, I remember grandfather arguing with my father over Charlene's policy of non-intervention, and this time it was my turn to play the role. But even if my grandfather could not win him over, what chance had I? If words exist that may sway him, I now know what they are. I know not what they are. With their knowledge, Charlatan could have done so much for the cause. They could have helped us uncover the secrets of the towers and save the tempered captives within, and yet, gods. Yeah, Kanisena seems determined to not let the disappointment of Charlene's rejection distract her from the task at hand. Charlene's stance is indeed disappointing. We cannot allow ourselves to be distracted from the challenge before us. There is much more to be done. I shall begin by sharing the Forum's response with my counterparts in the Alliance. Meanwhile, I would ask the Scions. Grave tidings, walking ones. Grave tidings. Uh-oh. Calm yourself, my gentle friend. What has occurred? These ones who went to see Feathered Ones send terrible news. Destroying ones have appeared in Zelfoto. Destroying ones and capture ones, and even frightful godly ones. Feather ones didn't stand a chance and were set flapping and squawking. When did this happen? Is it too late to help them? Too late, yes, much too late, but luckily the soaring ones were only passing through and continued onwards. Feathered ones who did not fight were left unharmed. West, that would be Corthus. My lady, the Ishgardens report that the Luffore have emerged from the eastern highlands of Corthus and are marching at speed. Though their purpose is yet to be determined, the Cartano Flats would seem their most likely destination. Lord Amaric has already dispatched his forces and requests our immediate support. Tell him he shall have it. The time has come for the Grand Company of Eorzea to prove its worth. Well, it doesn't matter now. It's time to do or die. Well, mayhap it is a mercy that we don't have time to stew upon our misfortunes. Come, my friends, let us make haste to Cartano. Wait, this one I almost forgot. The soaring ones were said to be led by cackling robed one. This one must see that all walking ones know farewell. Goodbye, floaty friend. Fandaniel? Who else? It was only a matter of time before that greedy maniac showed himself again. I shall have an airship ready to bear you to Cartano. Pray see to your preparations. Report to the landing with all haste. At once, my lady, let us away. The airship will be ready to depart ere long. I bid you make for the landing as soon as you're able. May the 12 keep you. Yeah. Let's get out of here. Death unto dawn. And here we were just making our reports about the Crystal Braves. And then this shit springs up on us. Oh hey, Fidelis here. Come on, this only take a moment, alright? Roxanne, it would seem Ferdella here has come all the way to Gudana to find us. Explain the situation, but she insists her business is urgent. And that'll be over sooner if you shut up and come with me. Okay. What's going on?
Arenvold! I can't tell you how good it is to see you.
It arrived a lot sooner than expected, eh? The day I craned my neck up at you.
Only because you're sitting down? Unless...
Afraid so. The chirurgeons say I may never walk again. Come on, Alfino, it could be worse. Besides, I didn't come here to dampen the mood. Quite the opposite. All I've ever wanted was to fight for a cause I believe in. But my fighting days are over. So I want you to fight in my stead. Be the hero I can't.
I am no hero.
That's what they all say, though. No one ever calls themselves a hero. Even the ones who eat primals for breakfast. It's for others to decide. Look, Alfino. You already are a hero. To me and countless others. We see you doing your damnedest to protect us all. And you're not alone, are you? There are people who believe in you, just as you believe in them.
We carry the dreams of many, we'll carry yours too.
I know what's at stake, and how many people are depending on you. I believe in you. Believe that you'll see it through. That's why I'm entrusting my dreams to you. Like Albert and Owley once entrusted their dreams to me.
There was a time when I would have borne the weight of such expectations without a second thought. But now, I know just how heavy that burden can be. To tell the truth, I'm beginning to wonder if I chose the right path. Sacrifices will inevitably be made for the sake of the ideals I uphold. Maybe I am not the person I thought I was. The person you think I am.
I wouldn't presume to tell you. But I will say this. In spite of everything, you've come this far. The road ahead might not always be clear, but you've never been one to give up or take the easy way out. And everything you do for others. For a brighter future. I'm proud to call you my friend. Well, I've said my piece, so I'll let you go. I know you've got more important things to be doing. Just give what I've said some thought, alright?
All I know is that when these boss fights hit, them songs that kick up better be fucking bangers.
I shall, my friend. And we will meet again soon, I promise.
Nothing left for me to do but wave and smile.
You've got a pretty narrow view of what it means to be a hero, do you know that? You think they're all forged in the fires of battle? That it's all about being brave and killing villains? Alphino and the others will carry on their fight. But theirs isn't the only one. There are other ways you can make a difference. If you stop feeling sorry for yourself and put your bloody mind to it.
There's not much chance of me living the quiet life with you around, is there?
God damn! God damn! fucking burn, dude.
If you're content to twiddle your thumbs thinking of what might have been, that's your lookout. Then I reckon you've got some fight left in you.
And I reckon you might be right. If there's a way I can still help my friends, I'll bloody well find it.
We're gonna make you a cyborg of you, boy. We're gonna make you a cyborg. We're gonna make you one of them robots, boy. It's duty time. Rather doubt that Fordola obtained the Jerigian's permission before arriving Arul halfway across the realm, and solely to deliver a message of that. They should both have known better, but that what's done is done, and I will not soon forget his words. After Pagothan, I had assumed that Telophor would continue to target settlements, but it's plain they consider Zephoto a mere obstacle on the road to Cartino. What then draws them to the flats? We must keep a close eye on their movements. Oh yeah. And it's duty time. It's food eating time. You can tell me later what was that all about, but judging by the sight of Alphino's jaw, it appears to have done him some good. Tankards and the others have already left the Rising Stones, and according to the communications officer, Emeldra and Kobo forces are also bound for Cartino as we speak. They mean to keep the promise they made in Alamigo. We must do the same by saving as many of their tempered kin as possible. Anyway, the airship is ready to depart. We should get going. Upon joining the battle of Cartino, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended you set aside sufficient time to participate in the battle and view these scenes in their entirety. Well, I got as much time as any. Your progress through the battle will be saved at certain points. In the event that you are defeated, you will be able to try again from the most recent of these. Please note that if you enter battles associated with other quests or log out from the game, this progress will be lost. Death unto Dawn.
My fellow Scions, as I am sure you will have heard, we can expect no help from Charlian, nor are we any closer to discerning the Telophoroi's grand design. And now, our adversary moves against us in unprecedented numbers, compelling us to answer in kind. The outlook, in short, is bleak. Yet though our foes are many, and we but few, we may still tip the balance in Eorzea's favor.
Of course. We will do what we always do. Deal with the ones our allies can't. A less than daunting prospect, judging by your expression. Could it be that you've dispelled your lingering doubts, Alphino?
Oh, I doubt I ever will. But as my friends have kindly reminded me, I have come this far, and that must count for something.
Well said.
God be good, Alphino. That's what we've been trying to tell you all along.
For one so bright, you can be remarkably dim at times. There is such a thing as overthinking, you know.
Fucking Estinian!
Might I suggest that we continue this conversation after the battle? It would appear that Telophoroi have already arrived.
I'll do what I can to cure the Tempered, but they'll have to be incapacitated first.
Have care, my friends, for none can say wherefore our foe did choose this fateful field to be our battleground. Whatever may transpire, pray grant him not the pleasure of deterring you.
It's time to kick some ass. Listen, well, friends, it's Telophoroi sweeping across Cartano. As for the Ascian, he was briefly sighted above the battlefield, but has since vanished. He likely intends to watch events unfold from afar. Thus far, the movements of the lunar primals have proven difficult to predict, even with poised our troops. The instant draw for some unknown reason. Whatever the Telophoroi plan may be, the primals are our primary targets. Understood, they will not elude the silence for long. That's right.
Prepare yourself!
Let's give it our all!
Man, get your Magitech ass. Here with you, mate. Oh, interesting. So science spread out across the field. LSA and Graha take the fight to the Telophoroi. Oh, we get to play as LSA. Ooh, it's one of these segments. Can't see any primals. Something's not right. There's so many of them.
Allow me.
No wonder they said that these would take a while.
just the beginning.
Right behind you.
So that's why I said there was multiple checkers. Oh, nice. I got him. Since we're in the longest respite. Let's take this opportunity to cure the tempered. What do I gotta use? Ow. Yes, of course. Do you see that? The glyph? Yes, how worried should we be? Isn't this where the ultimate weapon was originally at? Listen well and judge for yourself, though I can see the ethereal currents and not thoroughly examine those that flow through the heart of Cartano. But now that I'm here, things have become clear. The flats conceal an etheric confluence, like to the pillars of the Azim Step, but greater in scale, far greater. The glyphs that Fandanio has conjured reach into to its very midst, and I believe I know their purpose. Should the lunar primals destroy them, it would spark a chain reaction with the potential to obliterate the confluence entirely. The resultant disruption of the flow of ether would sow chaos among the elements, prompting earthquakes, floods, and tempests large enough to lay waste to the realm. That we go so far cometh as little surprise. We must needs protect the confluence at all costs. True. Give me a second though, yeah. Alright. Is that Odin? So the time has come to put my blade against his. Follow my lead.
shall protect thee.
Away with you!
The best defense is a good defense! Not like this.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we'll do it normal. Alright, gotta keep things alive.
I shall protect thee.
My turn.
May the 12 guide you!
What? Oh, come on. I guess I could let each solo do a few hits. While I try to heal up the damn portal thingy. Whatever the fuck. The goddamn etheric thing. See, execute the following abilities in succession. Do everything to fade as you draw from the remaining deck. Stores 10% maximum HP. Deals unexpected damage with opponents of 270. If any of the abilities are not ready, the combo will start again. Leave everything to fade as you draw from. Stores 20% maximum HP. Damage dealt is increased while weapon spell cast time and recast time. Spell cast time and recast time. Attack delay are reduced for you and all nearby party members. Restores target's HP. Creates a fixed sign center around the caster. This is damage taken by 10% and party members who enter. Okay.
Protect me.
Oh, I see, I gotta maintain it. Pretty cool. Rahatia and Alisei prepare to lock swords with Lunar Bravana. This is cool. What? Okay, I need to read my shit on this before I jump in. So let's read. Cast the following spells in succession. Deals light damage to the opponent's 300. Deals lightning damage to the opponent's. Okay, so I need to use Thunder. Cure 2, Medic 2, and Break. Prevent spellcasting, movement, or other activity of all nearby enemies. Okay, that's what it is. So I basically gotta keep disrupting their spellcasting. healed her before. Get out of here, nerd. At the self-same moment, you stand shoulder to shoulder with Alphino Estinian, resolved to lay Lunar and Free low. Oh, shit. Well, it's about time that whoop ass. One eye roll and for double encounter. got the two Azure Dragoons right here. Oh shit! What the fuck? God damn, brother! I wish I had that power.
Will not be outdone.
Killing with the base land skill.
And thus another plan went up in smoke. I am beginning to see why Lord Xenos thinks so highly of you. Not that this changes anything, you understand. You have merely earned yourself a stay of execution.
Damn, I got over that quick.
How fare the tempered?
We've treated as many as we can, but some were beyond help.
Do not hang your head so, brave scions. Though not all of our captured brethren could be saved, we are grateful for those whose minds have been restored. You could do no more, and that is enough. So please hold your heads high.
Should have been quicker, but I'll do better next time. Thank you for your kind words. They mean a lot.
A victory at great cost, but a victory nonetheless. We must stay strong and press on. Isn't that right?
One battle at a time. We'll get there.
That
Agreed.
we will.
Tell me that's the end. Huh. Okay. Well, it had to lead into the next art in some type of way, so I'd say this kind of this is good. You basically save the room from dying again. And now who knows what we're gonna see after this credit scene. I'm gonna put the credits at 2 times speed because, yeah. ground. Artwork. This arc has been great. I need to download the song too. But yeah, this arc just so good. This expansion, and I can't wait to see what this next expansion has.
One world's end as a new begin, and should our souls scatter unto the wind, still we shall live on. Stand tall.
Well, looks like we're gonna be going to Charlian on the next expansion then. Which that's gonna be interesting. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask my friend like the primary side content that's also supplementary to main Shadowbringers to do, and I'll do that after. I gotta say, the music that kicked up, because I know the music that kicked up for MXL was the Shadowbringers song, but I think it was like a variant. But the one that played when you're fighting Elidibus, that one was awesome. But yeah, I think for tomorrow I'm just gonna chill and get some drawing done. But we'll see. I might just do that Friday, and then I'll do a stream on Saturday. Just a little bit more. I don't really want to skip it in case it has a cutscene that it skips to. Excuse me, I'm over here drinking and y'all's hearing shit. 2021, Alright. Let's see what scene we get here. Oh, hey, Emmerich. Should have seen my face when Lord Emmerich turned up on our doorstep. Did none of you think to send word he was bringing you home? I didn't know he was bringing us home. At the close of the battle, when the clouds parted and the moon shone down on us all, you cannot well express how I felt. Somehow it seemed more a beginning than an ending. The temper that we were able to treat will be taken to the city-states for observation. As soon as the Alliance is satisfied that they're fully recovered, they will be free to return home. Excuse me. It was decent of Lord Emmerich to bear us home aboard his airship. The gods only know how we would have squeezed as many people into the bonanza. Yeah. I will recommend that the Alliance keep a closer watch over Cardinal. The Telophori may have failed in their attempt to destroy the Confluence this time, but there's not to stop them trying again. Yep. Many though the enemy were, their numbers consisted largely of tempered beastmen with a few lunar primals to keep things interesting. The Garlings themselves ventured little and lost less. It has ever been the Empire's way to have others fight their battles, but even they would blush at the Telophori's use of tempered slaves. The Cardinal Flats seem fated to play a prominent role in the history of the realm, do they not? I wonder, might the abundance of ether that flows through the region have led the elegance to entomb Omega there? Probably. Throughout the battle, I could not shake the feeling that all present were performing for the amusement of Fandaniel, nor did his little bland reaction to his latest defeat give me cause to think otherwise. I can only conclude that such failures are little consequence to his brother's scheme, whatever it may be. Alright. I trust you all enjoy the comfortable flight aboard the pride of the Exordian fleet. Lest you worry, the bonanza has been towed to a nearby location to be retrieved at your convenience. Give me a second, y'all. You have thought of everything, Lord Emmerich, and I may say how much I appreciated the hospitality you afforded us on the way home. Think nothing of it. Our destination lay in the same direction, and afforded me the perfect opportunity to learn how my errant friend has been since he last took his leave. It would seem you have finally found a place to settle down. I merely grew wary of wandering the Far East. Está bien. Returning to more serious matters, while the Telophori have been driven from Cartano, 'tis like that the bulk of the forces yet remain. On the evidence of the Grand Company versus first joint military operation, however, I'm confident that we have the potential to meet such threats head-on, even without the aid of you and yours. As such, while our forces keep the Telophori at bay, I would ask you to apply your talents to the task of neutralizing the towers. A sensible division of labor, while the towers remain, so too will the threat of the lunar primals. And given our expertise in the field of aetherology, we're better qualified to find the solution. That we are, especially should it happen to lie beyond the Alliance's dominion. There's a time and place for formal investigations, of course, but certain secrets are wont to hide where only enterprising individuals may venture. I could not agree more. There are none better suited to this task, nor any upon whom I would rather rely. Thanks, mate. On behalf of the Alliance, I thank you. We look forward to receiving any information you are able to uncover. And with that, I must take my leave. Should you have need of assistance, Pray do not hesitate to ask. Fare you well, my friends. With that, let's go. Give me a second. I confess I had hoped to be able to study the towers more closely, vital as they plainly are to the Telophorus plans. We can discern their ultimate function, we will be one step closer to understanding our enemy's grand scheme. Should you succeed in neutralizing them, of course, it is all but certain that the Telophori will mount an all-out invasion. And then it will begin. The one who awaits at the heart of the chaos will come for us, for you. Yet in the end, our true nemesis may be the calamity to end all calamities, the final days themselves. Yes, alright, Alphino. We need a plan, not portents. As Thancred so eloquently pointed out, we're in a position to seek out information from all manner of places, not least Charlotte. According to Crow, the Forum have been more secretive than ever of late. While this may be related to the appearance of the Telophori, that remains a matter of speculation. But one thing is clear, the Forum is determined to keep us from discovering the truth. Master Fortuno's performance at the Lotus Stand was enough to convince me of that. The matter bear further investigation, I do heartily concur. Nor can I think of a more promising place to look for answers we seek on the matter of the towers. Shaloyan, however, been a wellspring of aetherological knowledge. I care not where we go, here or there, my lance will be ready. And what of you, Roxanne? Might you be persuaded to join us? Do you even need to ask, bro? Do you even need to ask? If it means I can have words for fortune. Exactly. If I can give him a piece of my mind. Only after I do. If he and his friends in the Forum think we'll leave them alone if they ignore us, they're in for a shock. It appears we're in agreement. We have but to wait for Crown to secure the necessary permissions. In the meantime, there's a matter I would investigate. Does it involve tall structures? By strange coincidence, it does. At present, I only have a creeping suspicion, but with your help, I will soon find out whether my fears are warranted. Huh. You'll learn the emote shush. Oh, hey. Wait, I didn't see the weapon. Okay, it's a sign. Okay.
Those Eorzeans certainly are a stubborn bunch. Though I suppose you knew that already.
Those Aehorians. Just kidding.
My plan to redirect the ether from Cartano came to a rather less than satisfactory conclusion. It was, in many respects, an abject failure. Which does, of course, raise the question of where we are going to procure the requisite amount. The obvious solution would be to draw on resources a little closer to home, though that would require our dreamer to dream a trifle more deeply.
So be it.
The dreamer will not complain.
The dreamer?
Then let us begin the preparations at once. With the gateway of the gods complete, all that remains is to gather the necessary ether, and our prize shall be within reach. The time has come to fulfill your heart's desire, my desire! To relieve those wretched creatures of their meaningless existence!
Xenos is like, bruh. I just want to play with my friend.
While I await you, I shall drink a sea of souls and gorge myself upon the darkened moon.
Good.
Then you shall come to me, all roiling rage and rancor. And the stars shall bear witness to our final contest.
Is this finally where we decide if you die or you live, bruh? Because we already fought you twice. We're close to the Crystal Tower.
As I thought, the ethereal currents have been disturbed here too.
It was the same in Thanalan. Make that every location we surveyed.
And the strength of each current has diminished dramatically. Far more than could be attributed to a natural occurrence.
Oh, hey, yo. Hey, Camille, welcome on in. Thanks for stopping by the stream.
What tidings bringest thou from Dravania?
We took a number of readings, and noticed that the closer we were to the tower, the lower the etheric density became. In short,
the towers are drawing upon the land's ether, which would explain how they were able to carry out the summonings.
Our allies must be informed of this. We should return to the Rising Stones and have Tataru relay our findings to them.
Hear me. Hear me.
Oh,
Hear
shit.
me. Hear me.
Yo? No way.
Darkness comes. And with it, the end. The fate of the star is in your hands.
We gotta tell him. We gotta tell him, bro. We gotta tell him.
Everything all right back there?
It's Solemn Dawn. Grim purpose shines and gazes cast toward moonlit sky. Does our final curtain rise? Your steps guide. Damn it! I fucking messed that. I took a picture of it though. New chapter, new game plus has been added. Under the darkened moon. And there it is. Shadowbringers has been completed. Alphino is feeling the need to take stock. The next ship to sail. And with it, my EXP will rise again. And also new gear set. Or well, armor, whatever. But hell yeah. It's about time. I'm gonna leave it here. And we're gonna sneer at Alphino. You sneer at Alphino. Yeah. Alright, y'all. It's been fun. It's been chill, but I gotta go. Oh my god. Once again, I have foiled myself. I had my mic muted for 2.5 hours on fucking TikTok. God damn it. Oh well, at least you guys were able to hear the game. But I'm gonna stop the stream here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. And until then, hope you guys have a good night. And y'all have a good one. Peace out, y'all.